All right. It's a great welcome to each one of you. Thank you for joining with us, with our team tonight or this evening, wherever you are joining me and my team. Could be from different parts of the world. Thank you very much for coming in. Tonight's program is about the precious need of a father. Like Manon said, tomorrow being the World Father's Day, we thought this would be the best topic. It's a timely topic, nevertheless. I want to tell you this at the end of this session. I guarantee you, you would have much better things in your heart, in your mind, for you to become a good father. I guarantee you that. With that guarantee, let's start the program. I would like to ask this question first of all. What is your main reason to be watching this webinar today? If I ask this question, what will be your answer? I want to tell that answer through this picture. You would like to be a good father. You would like to be a father where your children would be putting their arms around your neck like this. You would be holding from both hands, and you would be the best father to your child or to your children. This is the idea for you to join tonight. This picture tells a lot of things, what a father could do to their children. All right, let's say this. If you look at this picture, you would see this father looking down, or this person looking down. Look at his eyes closely. His eyes are down. His chin is down. He looks to be a person who is sort of, worried like, repenting like, thinking like, feeling sorry like. That's the picture that you see from this man's face. Men are responsible for most of the societal upheaval. There is a famous author by the name of Robert Louis. He wrote a book titled Making a Good or Making a Night. In that book, he writes some beautiful, I would say very scary things. I picked up this little bit from that book. The first one comes like this. Men commit 90% of major crimes. Men commit 90% of major crimes. Second one he writes in his book, men commit nearly 100% of rapes. The third one he writes, men commit 95% of burglaries. Men commit 91% of the offenses against the family. Men comprise 94% of drunk drivers. Now, it looks to be that men happens to be a problem in the society. If I ask from you this question, do you think how many of these men are fathers? How many of these men are fathers? How many fathers commit major crimes? Rapes, burglaries, offenses against the family, drunk drivers? We need to ask. If men has become the problem, it is the men who should be giving the solution also. Men should be the ones who should be giving the solution also. Look at this picture. This picture is a beautiful picture because It shows a father and a son seated close to each other. So beautiful. Son is at ease. Father is also at ease. Look at what they are wearing. The top part, nothing. So comfortable with each other. This son must be feeling, oh, what a beautiful time I'm having with my father. With my father around me, I don't have to be scared for anything. This is the feeling that this son is having. But now you take a look at this. The father is gone, and now you have the child alone. The child alone. When the father is not there, I would like to call this fatherlessness. When there is no father in a family, the consequences, what can go wrong, what can happen, it comes in a beautiful website that you see under the screen. Fathers for Life. I was reading this and I found some shocking news. I thought I should share this thing. Consequences of fatherlessness. The first one goes like this: 90% of homeless and runaway children come from fatherless homes. Second one, 85% of children with behavioral disorders comes from fatherless homes. 85% youth sitting in prisons, they come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists comes from fatherless homes. 71% of high school dropouts come out from fatherless homes. I want to give you the last one. 63% of youth suicides are coming from fatherless homes. Can you see the problem that we have in our hands today? All because the absence of a father. The absence of a father. Don't think it's just that the father is not at home, all these things are happening. Not exactly. You could be having a father physically at home, but he's not involved with the family. He's not involved with the children. He is an uninvolved father. Could be various reasons. Could be various reasons. I like, if you visit this website, you will see more on this. But I just wanted to pick only the important ones and I wanted to show it to you. I wanted to show you why our children are getting into wrong things, why our children are getting into bad practices, why our children are going astray. There is something to do with us as fathers. We have a huge problem in our hands. Let's see the next one. I want you to see this little picture. It's a very common picture that we have. Needs of different stages. Look at this little seed. Getting into the soil, when it gets into the soil, it needs a lot of water. That's the primary need. It needs water. When the seed is small, it needs water. It doesn't need a whole lot of fertilizer, but it needs some little water. Come second stage, the seed has become a small plant. Now, this plant may not need a lot of water, but maybe it needs some shade because otherwise it will get roasted, it will die. The need becomes different. Now the plant is a little more bigger. Now it might need a small little support because the stem is small. A small little support for it to go straight is different at this stage. And the last one, it has become a big tree. If 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 we looked after the plant, the seed, the plant, the little grown-up one at those stages, rest assured, this tree is going to be a fruit producing tree. It is going to be a tree where birds are going to make nests. It is going to be a tree which will go give a lot of shade and people shade underneath. Different stages, different needs. Keep that in mind. I'm going to apply this theory to our little children. Take a look at this. 0 to 5 years. I've written mother there. What it says is this. When a child is born, up and until the age of 5, we need to have certain things. Children need to have certain things in life. What are those things? We are going to analyze and see what they are. Number one, intimacy. When the child is 1 year or between 0, once the child is born up and until the child is 1 year, this mother, we call this first 5 years mother impact years. Mother impact. This little baby or this little infant needs a lot of intimacy from the mother. The first thing that they give is they get to the breast. So much close, very intimate. The second year, that child is asking for autonomy. He wants to stand. The mother has to be there to give that child a little helping hand to stand. Third year, self-control. Child wants to get up, not only get up, but the child wants, when the mother starts holding the little child's hand, the little child says, no, I don't want your hand. I want to stand on my own. Self-control chips in. Mother has to be there around, giving all that confidence for that self-control. Child turns 4. You buy toys and gifts. What do you think the child does to that toy? It takes only hours. He breaks the toy into pieces. Why? Because the child wants to explore. He wants to see what is inside. Tell him, you also could have been a small child, some 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. If your mother is still alive, your mother will tell you what you did when you were 4 years old. Yes, no toy would have lasted one day. Yes, pieces, broken into pieces. Why? It's because that your exploring age. Mother has to be there to allow to buy and give these things. Child turns 5 years. That is the time he starts imagining things. You buy and give this child the little building blocks. He makes various things from those building blocks. He goes wild in his imagination. Now I want to show you something. Look at the right-hand side of it. If the child does not receive this thing, what happens? What happens? Intimacy. Mother is not there during the first year with the child starts having mistrust. Mother is not there during his second year, autonomy not there, the child starts having uncertainty. The child starts having that feeling of he's unsure of things. Third year, child does not have self-control, he lacks decision making. This part of it, if not received part of it on your right hand side of it. What you see, you do not see it when the child is small, but you see all these effects when the child is big. Not at that small age, but when the child is big, you start seeing this thing. 5 years old, imagination not there, he loses creativity power. Yes, it happens. All this is happening between 0 to 5 years. This reminds me of the Old Testament, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. It says, I give you blessing and curse. I put in front of you blessing and curse. Choose blessing. The word says, choose blessing. So onto your left-hand side of your screen, what you see is a blessing. If you are able to be there as a mother, you become a blessing with these things. But for some odd reason, if you are in 5 years, you would know what you are giving to your child. So all our mothers, we need to be there when our children are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ask for yourself, all the mothers who are listening to this program now, ask for yourself, have I missed the bus? All right. 5 years, child is at the cuddling age. Look at this. Children are like this. 0 to 5, children are like this. Look at the hands, where the hands of the child and hands of the mother. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's no other piece like this. Our sons, our daughters know about this very well. So from mother's cuddle, what happens when the child grows? Boom! Child jumps onto the shoulders of the father. Here you are, father's shoulders. No more. 7-year-old, 8-year-old, they are on father's shoulders. They are on father's shoulders. They don't go behind the mother anymore. They're on father's shoulders. Let's see what happens in these father impact years. We call this father impact years. All right, 6 to 11 years father impact years. I want to take you through. Right. Age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6, affirmation comes in. The child goes to school, he participates in his first sports meet, and he becomes a first. You should be there to tell, son, you are super. Congratulations, you should be telling. 7 years, right? Your son is out there in the garden, and then tree is there, mango tree is there. Father is looking at the son and inviting from his eyes, why don't you climb on this? Father is the one who gives that indication to the son. Yes, he is the one who is giving that indication. It's a new thing. It's a new challenge. Father gives that. Think like this. If a mother is there under the tree, what will the mother do? Mother will say, oh, don't alone. You will fall down. Son, don't ever climb. But the father will tell, climb. I'm watching you. Don't worry. He gives that challenge. 8 years. 8 years. That's the time that the child starts thinking in an abstract manner. Abstract thinking. Actually, this 8 years is the best age for you to start putting in slowly the spirituality part of it, the religious part of it, the prayer part of it. This is the time because he starts thinking. 8 years. Just to tell you, Sunday school, 8-year-old's ideal thing is to have a male person eating. Some food for thought. 9 years, his sexual organs start developing. Father should be around to teach this little child about. If it is a son, the father should be the person to tell the son, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. Father is the person. He becomes 10, he becomes 11. He starts looking for his identity. He starts looking for his identity. He starts seeing value. That's the time the father should start slowly but surely putting in values and trends. It should be telling what are the good things in life, what are the good choices to make. He should be the one to tell. Just imagine if you as a father, if you are not around to do this thing, if you are not around to tell these things to your son, to your daughter, what can be the consequences? Your right hand side of the screen is blank. I'm going to tell you, if father is not there, for some odd reason, if your son, if your daughter does not receive this thing, what will happen? 6 years, he doesn't get affirmation. Later on, he fears unbirth. 7 years, no challenges given, no new things were introduced. He grows big, he starts, I can do this thing. He goes to work. The boss gives him a new assignment. He starts feeling, I can't do this. 8 years, no abstract thinking. He loses his spirituality when he grows big. 9 years, nothing about sexual development, no one to tell him. He gets into when these children grow up and become big, they get into abnormal pleasures. They are unsatisfied. They are the people who get into pornography. They are the people who get into all sorts of wrong behavioral patterns. 10 and 11, no identity, no values. This child, when he grows, he starts feeling he doesn't have confidence to do anything. He is a sidelined person. He always, in the society, he becomes a person who is in a corner. He doesn't come forward. He doesn't get involved in things. That's what happens. If this child does not receive these important needs, age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Just imagine what can go wrong. All right. We discussed from 0 to 11. Let's jump into the next one. Right. If you're seeing this, you will see age 12 to 18, I haven't segregated them, but nevertheless, I've given the needs. It says sexuality development, leadership, decision making, social skills, and emotional intelligence. Now, if you closely see the top, there's no heading on this. There's no heading on this. It doesn't, I haven't written as mother impact or father impact, but I've just left blank. Reason is this. Now you have a look at your right hand side. You will see it. Let me come to this. Let me come to this. Right. You see the association part of it? Peer groups. If you have a teenage child at your place, if you have a teenage son at your place, let's say he's 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, ask a question. Is your 15-year-old son talking with you the way that he was talking when he was 6 years old, or when he was 10 years old, or when he was 3 years old? Is he moving around with you like that now? Now at this 15 years old? No, no. But he will be having a lot of friends. A lot of friends. They are their peer groups. So, what should you do as a father? What should you do as a mother? You should start looking at your son as to who the friends are. The saying goes like this: if you can come to know who the friends are, you would know who your son is. I will tell you a real life. I like to tell you a real life. A few days ago, I had a telephone call from a mother. A real life thing. A telephone call from a mother. That telephone call lasted about 1.5 hours. This mother was crying. His mother was crying. And this mother said, look, Roshan, I have an 18-year-old son and a 14-year-old. While she was away, I'll cut this story short. While the mother was away, this 18-year-old son has hit this 14-year-old brother so much so that a huge wound on the forehead of the 14-year-old son and lots of blood. Lots of blood. So much of blood marks on the wall also. I was listening. I was listening, and listening. At the end of it, I asked one question. Can you tell me what your two sons are doing when they are not talking to you? She was telling me, oh, what they do is they watch movies. I asked, what sort of movies do they watch? She was telling me, oh, they love action movies. I asked, what sort of action movies? Oh, they watch a lot of fighting, a lot of action. Can you make a match of what has happened this evening between two of your sons and those movies? Can you understand now what these peer groups can do? It is very important that your son, your daughter gets into the right field. Let's move. Let's move. If you're seeing this, there are three things, key things: leadership, decision making, and social skills. They are to do with peers. Sexuality development, 12 years old, if the father has not spoken to the son when he was 9 years old, at that time, he starts hearing things from his peers. Those things may not be things. I mean, right? How much a father should get involved. All right, let's move. Okay. I did a small little summary. I did a small summary. I want you to go through this. I want you to go through this. See, the mother impact is 0 to 5, the father impact is 6 to 11, and the peer impact is 12 to 18. And again, the father impact is comes between 18 and 21. So if you closely see, you will see with your child, you have two stages where the father gets involved. We think mothers are the ones who are really attracted and attached to children. But according to this study, the mother years are really 0 to 5. 0 to 5. Look at the impact that the father does to a child's life from 1 to 21. From 1 to 21. 6 to 11, 6 to 11, and 18 to 21. Does this thing give you some signals to you? How much you as a father should be involved with your son? more than the mother, more than the mother. You are the one, you as a father, you are the one who should be getting involved with your son, with your daughter. Are you involved? Or are you busy with a lot of other things? Are you involved in a lot of other things? Did any of the stages for those father impact years tell that the father should be giving a lot of financial assistance? Did it say? I leave it for you to decide, but I have shown you what it is. Let's move forward. All right. This is an iceberg. Now, I must tell you the story. I actually have a history of coming from sea. I'm a person who sailed for 30 years in ships, and 15 years I sail as a captain. And I've been around this area called Newfoundland, the eastern seaboard of Canada, and we see a lot of icebergs like this. And we never get close to icebergs because I don't want to be in history books. So my ship, when I see the iceberg far away or when I see the iceberg on my radar screen, I stay very well away from this iceberg. Not because of actually what I see on top, but because what I cannot see down. If you see the two edges of this iceberg, which is underneath the water, it doesn't go like this, but it can go like that. So this part which extends horizontally, we do not know for how far it stretches. We do not know. This is the reason why ships does not get closer to icebergs. We don't get closer to make pictures or something. No, no, no. We did scared as sailors, to get closer to icebergs. Right. Having said that, now let's get into the topic. Why I have put this picture is to tell you there is a big part of the iceberg which we cannot see to our naked eyes. We cannot see it to our naked eyes. Similarly, with your child's life, if you have not been able to give those things which we just discussed, we create something called insecurities in life. Insecurities in life. We start creating those. And these insecurities make great impact with our children's lives. We call this insecurity. And they are caused by something called mother wound and father wounds. Because the mother could not give that intimacy to the child when he grows carries this wound called mother wound. Mother wound, the wound of mistrust, because he did not receive that intimacy. He did not. Similarly, father wounds, 6 years old, father was not around to give affirmation to the child. Affirmation to the child. He starts feeling, I am not worth. I am not worth. And he starts counting on his FB how many likes I have, because he does not feel that he is worth. So he wants to see from outside, how much I'm worth. So he's running behind it. These children are mother wounds and father wounds. And they result in something. These mother wounds and father wounds get shown with this little iceberg that you see above the water level. Above the water level. The saying goes like this. In any iceberg, the saying is you see only 1/10 of it. 9 parts are underneath the water. 9 parts are underneath the water. So you can imagine when a grown-up person comes out with father wounds and mother wounds And during that period of 12 to 18, what we call the peer wound or the teenage wounds, those wounds come out in life when you hit 25, 30, 35, 40 as the tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg. By that time, you are married. That comes out as inappropriate behavior. And who sees it? Your spouse, your family, your friends, they see it. I wrote a few things that I would like to discuss with you. Quickly, look at this. Look at this grown-up person. Look at his face. His head is down, hands are covering the face. He's giving a posture of, oh, I'm feeling bad, I'm sad, I'm guilty, I carry a wound. That's what this gentleman on the right hand side is showing. Let's analyze and see a few things. A few things. Failed and unpleasant marriages. One reason for that? Mistrust. Mistrust. How do you get mistrust? At the age of 1, you remember? When the mother was not there to give that intimacy, he starts building up mistrust. So he gets married, he starts not to trust his spouse or not to trust her spouse. Failed marriages. Failed marriages. Shortcomings in leadership. You remember when the child was in teenage stage, he was to become a good leader. If he was with a good peer group, if he was the person who was talking, he develops his leadership quality. But right now, what has happened is that he's in the office, the boss gives him an assignment, you lead this. He doesn't have this. Doesn't have this. Come to the third one, absence of self-satisfaction. I told you a little bit about this. When he is 6 years old, if the father is not there to give that affirmation, if the father is not there to appreciate the son, there is an absence of satisfaction. Yes. He gets into the society, he does not, he is having that father wound inside his heart. And he starts looking for that affirmation because he did not get it. He shows signs of unsatisfaction. He's not satisfied. He comes out and says, however much I do, nobody appreciates me. I am not worth. You may have come across like this. The last one, inability to face challenges in life. Remember 7 years old? I told you about the mango tree story. The father was not around to give this child that new chore, that new assignment, for him to have that assignment, challenge. Father was not around. So he's scared to take challenges. He is scared to take challenges in life. These are the people who get sidetracked. These are the people who doesn't want to mingle with society. You would see even in a meeting, there are few people who does not talk one word. When you have to, if you can spend some time and start talking with that person, you will come to know that that person is having a father wound. All right. Okay. You could be a person, you as a father, you could be a person who could be still carrying some father wounds or mother wounds or teenage wounds. You could be a person. I will tell you about my life. I will tell you. Myself, my father was working in police. My father was working in police. So when he came back home, our house was also like a police station. We were all scared. I'm telling you, this is my honest story. I'm going on an air. I just want to be vulnerable. I don't need to be feeling, I don't have to be feeling feeling ashamed to tell this thing. It was like another police station. We were all scared. Of course, with God's grace, at some stage, I started learning these things and how, I came over that. But what I want to tell you is that even when I was grown, tall, big, 35, 40 years old, I had this father wound inside me, but I was able to come out of it. It's very important for you to know whether you still have these father wounds or not. You need to come out of it because you are a father now and you don't want to give this thing to your son. You don't want to give it to your son. There was a famous person called David Bly. Look at this picture on your right hand side. What is his father doing and what is his son doing? Look at this lovely posture. The son is keeping his two hands over the father's head and looking at the book. The father is also looking at the book. David Bly, who is this US author, he said, your children will become what you are. What you do, what example you set, your children are picking them up. He said, if your children want to be, if you want your children to be what you are, he said, so be what you want them to be. What a beautiful saying. I thought I should put this thing, I should share with you what David Bly said. All right. With that in mind, before I get into the next slide, I want to tell you something. Then, if you want to be that great father, if you want to be that great man, if you want to be that real man and the real father, the real man and the real father, there are a few things that you need to do. Before the lockdown came, before March, I was addressing some Sunday school children. Sunday school. 10-year-old, 11 years, 12 years old children. So they came to me and said, after I spoke to them, one son came to me. I asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, Uncle, I want to be like Kumar Sangakkara. I said, oh, great. Why Kumar Sangakkara? And I said, Uncle, he's my role model. Wow, big words, role model. Now, if you want to become a real man or if you want to become a real father, who is your role model? Who is the greatest father, the best father that you want to follow? Remember what Jesus said? Jesus said, be perfect as my Father is perfect. Father is the perfect. How do we know whether he's perfect or not? If you are a perfect father, you should have some qualities. I picked up these qualities from the Bible. From the New Testament, I picked them up. It's in Matthew chapter 3, verse 17. It goes on like this. And a voice from heaven said, this is my son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. The moment you hear the words, this is my son, the son feels the identity of the father. So the father is a person who carries identity. When the son heard, whom I love, just imagine if you go and tell your son, I love you. What do you think your son will feel? He will loads of emotional security. Loads of emotional security. Third one, with him I'm well pleased. You look into the eyes of your son and you tell, I am well pleased with you. I'm well pleased with you. What do you think your son will start thinking? Your son will start thinking, my goodness, my father is appreciating me. My father is confirming what I'm doing is right. My Father is affirming three things. Father from heaven, when Jesus was receiving baptism, he identity, emotional security. Number three is affirmation. The same thing I found in another place. Matthew chapter 17, verse 5. It says, a voice from the cloud said, "This is my son, whom I love. With him I'm well pleased." There is a footnote. Listen to him. When you hear the words listen to him, it talks about authority coming down. If I'm to polish that word authority, I can add this little adjective and say moral authority. So a father is a person who will have moral authority. So four things: the ideal father, the real father, the perfect father is showing. Number one, identity. Number two, emotional security. Number three, affirmation. Number four, moral authority. I want to discuss these four things with you a little bit in detail. All right. Let's see the first one, moral authority. What do you feel the moment you hear the word authority? Wow. You hear the word authority, it's scary. You start thinking, oh, my freedom is gone. You are under a person. That's what you start feeling the moment you hear the word authority. You are scared. Authority. Second one, authority is not to be used to hurt someone or to abuse someone or to persecute someone. No, 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 no. Authority is given to you as a father not to hurt your children, not to abuse your children, or not to persecute your children. No, I'm telling you, no. You remember what Jesus said? Jesus said, I have all authority from above. He said, in the New Testament, he said, go find. He said, I have all authority from above. But how did Jesus use authority? Did he use his authority to persecute the people, or to abuse people, or to hurt people? No, he did not. He did not. But he used it for the benefit of others. He used the authority that he had for the benefit of others. Moral authority is given to turn darkness into light. Remember Matthew chapter 5? You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. It is for that purpose, for your light to shine. It is for that reason you as a father, God has given you moral authority. How do we use moral authority? Let's see how it is. How we turn incorrect things into correct things. How do we do this thing? I want to discuss this thing with you. The answer lies also in the scripture. If you look at chapter 22, verse 26, I picked up this beautiful quotation. Look at this. But among you, it will be different. Those who are the greatest among you should take the lowest rank. The lowest rank. The greatest must be the lowest rank. And the leader should be like a servant. I want to throw this question at you. You as a father, are you calling shots at home, or are you like a servant? What was the last day that you made coffee for your wife and for your kids? When did you do it last? Ask the question. Ask the question. When did you last take a broom to your hand and started sweeping? Ask the question. Are you a servant or a leader? How are you using your moral authority? All right. That's point number one, moral authority. On that, those four things. What's the third one? Affirmation. Affirmation. I want to take you through this. Affirmation must come or must appear as per the age. All right, look at these little kids, 0 to 5 or 0 to 6. Intellectual affirmations. Quickly, we'll go through intellectual affirmations. They start writing the letter A. You should be there to tell your little child, beautiful, excellent, you've written nicely. The affirmation. The child grows big, 6 to 8 years. He runs in the race, the school sports meet, and he becomes first and he's on the podium. Comes back home. You should be the first one to put your arms around your child and say, super, excellent, congratulations. You are the ones who should be giving that affirmation for his achievement. The child, 9 to 11 years old, physical affirmation. His muscles are growing. He goes in front of the mirror and he does like this. You must come behind and say, you look like Stallone. You look like Mr. Universe. You must do that. You must do that. How it grows. 12 to 18 years old. Social affirmations. You see your child talking on stage. You see your child reading, doing the first reading in the church. After Mass, you should meet your son. Put a tap at his back and say, you read. Just to do that. You should give that affirmation. 19 to 21 years old, affirmations of values, principles, and choices. Your son is 19 years old. Your mother is at home. Yes, your mother is at home. Your elderly mother is at home. Your 75-year-old mother is at home, or your 85-year-old mother is at home. Your son, who is 19 years old, helps your elderly mother to walk. You must tell your son, son, you did it right. You must affirm your son. Do you know how to affirm your children? That's the next one. Do you know the way to do it? I want to tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first thing is do it immediately. Do it immediately. Don't go to tell son 20 years ago you became that's for me. Today I want to tell you, great. No use. Do it now. Do it now. Number 2, tell how you felt seeing him do that. When you came first in the race, I felt so happy. Number 2, how you feel about it. Number 3, be specific. Be specific. Tell that when you went up on the stage, when you went up to the podium, when you started reading, be specific. For why? For what reason are you happy? It's number 3. Number 4 is encourage him to do better. Encourage him to do better. If he had a timing of, let's say, 20 seconds, tell son, try next time to do it, run the race in 19 seconds. It will definitely push him. That's important. That's the way to affirm. Right. Now, I want you to see this clip. This is a beautiful clip. Right? Maybe some of you may have seen this thing. This is a real life thing. It happened in Olympics in Barcelona in 1992. I want you to watch this clip very carefully. All right. I want to tell you. You saw that little clip. You saw that little clip. The point that I want to tell you is this. You don't affirm your children only when they win. This Derek fell down. This Derek fell down. Out of 65,000 people who were watching in that stadium, there was only one person who came to hold this Derek who was injured. Who was that? Father. That was the Father. The Father gave the assurance, no, you can do it. I'm there for you. I'm there for you. The Father gave the assurance and he completed the race. Completed the race. That particular race, the person who came first, I don't think that all 65,000 people stood up and gave that standing ovation. No. But it was for these two people. The father-son relationship. The father who came and cheered the son. It is for that relationship that 65,000 people gave standing ovation. So remember, when your son is fallen down, when your daughter is down, you need to give that affirmation. Put your arm around the shoulder of your son and tell, don't worry, be together, we will finish this. All right. Covered two things: moral authority and affirmation. What's the third one? Emotional security. We are going to that. Before that, I want to tell you something. All of us as fathers, we have great expectations. Nothing wrong. Good. We have great expectations. Expectations are good. But with those expectations comes something called performance. You expect your son to take 10 A's. You expect your son to take 4 A's. You hook up your expectation to their performance. What happens? When you do that, you think all the children can take 10 A's or 4 A's in their A-level examination? You know the answer. When they cannot, this is what happens. Disappointment sets in. The children are disappointed, you are disappointed. And that leads to something called guilt and shame. The child starts shameful. Oh my God, I could not do what my father wanted. The child starts feeling so bad. You get angry because you have been loving only the expectations of yours, not you, not the child of yours. In the marriage context, if I talk, you want your wife to cook well. Cook well. Suppose you have a wife who cannot cook. What happens? I leave you to answer. So, this is a cycle that we call fear cycle. And this is a dangerous. This is a dangerous cycle. Fathering based on expectations. Tonight, I want to tell you, out of all the things that you could take this single thing very seriously. Don't have expectations based on performance on your children. Please, you should be loving them unconditionally. Whether he brings 10 F's or 10 A's, your love should be static. It should be the same. Keep that in mind. So, let's say you are a father who has got expectations based on performance and your child has not been able to deliver the goods, and you are coming back home. Let's say this is your picture. On the right hand side, let's say this is your picture, and you stop the car in the garage, and the wife tells your child, wife tells the son, she's telling your son, Dad is coming home. Dad is coming home. What do you think your son's face would be? Will it be any one of these? Will he be having a sad face, or a fearful face, or an embarrassed face? Or will he be showing a worried face, or an angry face, or an upset face? What do you think? What do you think your son could be having when he hears the words, Dad is coming? You know one thing? See what is underneath the screen. Do you know that you show God's face? Remember Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. In the Old Testament, God is saying, each one of us, we are created into God's own image and likeness. Do you think God's face is a sad face, or a fear face, or an embarrassing face, or a worried face, or an angry face, or an upset face? Ask the question. Your child is looking at your face and say, oh, is this my God? God who's angry. You, it should be a happy face, a joyful face, and a proud face. That's what you should be showing your son. That's what you should be showing your daughter. Yes. But now you must be telling me from your mind, oh my God, Roshan, what are you talking? I'm working from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening, and how can I be happy? I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you love your son, if you love your daughter, come with that 6 o'clock face up to the gate. You know what is 6 o'clock face? When the two, you remember the analog clocks? The 6 o'clock is like this. It's a long face. Yes, I'm telling you, come with that long face up and until the gate. But after you pass the gate, when you get off from your vehicle or you open the gate and come in, you have to change your face to 10-10 face. I call this the 10-10 face, or you can call it 9-15 face. 9-15 face is like this. 10-10 face is like this. It's the smiling face. You have to change that. If you love your son, do it. Do it. Because you are the one who brings emotional security. When you come with a 6 o'clock face, I guarantee you, all your children, their faces will also be 6 o'clock. You want to see smiles? Change your face to a 10 face. I'm telling you, emotional security. What's the last one out of the 4 qualities? Identity. Building the correct identity. Let's see what it tells. Past. You must be having a past consisting of people whom you were moving around, environment that you came from, events which created your life, and experiences that you had in the past. The gospel said, people told Jesus, oh, this is the carpenter's son. Past. We are good in bringing up the past. People said, how can anything come from Galilee? How can anything good come from Galilee? Environment. Galilee was not supposed to be the best place on planet Earth. You could be coming from a past like that, but we have a present. You have a control of this present. Friends I choose to associate. Your son, your daughter can see who the friends whom you associate. Who are your friends? What's the identity that you are showing to your son, to your daughter? What are the values that you show to your son? What are the values that you are showing to your son? Are you showing the value of patience, or are you showing the value of anger, firing? What's the value that you are showing? Choices. What's the choice? A poor person comes and knocks at your gate. Your son is there, and the son comes and tells you, Dad, a beggar is on the gate, near the gate, and asking for something. What's your choice? Are you going to give something, or are you going and telling your son, tell the beggar there is no one at home? What's the choice? Your choice, your value, your friends shows the identity of yours to your son. The future, past, present, and future, my dreams and my goals. What are your goals in life? What do you want to be? Is that place a place that God likes, God wants, or something that you want to ask? If you can show that correct identity to your son, rest assured, you become the real father. You become the real man. You become the perfect father, what Jesus spoke about. Impossible. I want to tell you. All right. I've been talking big. Now, I want to be vulnerable here. My son could be watching this program from home. Yes, I'm actually doing it from a different place where my team is assembled. We are all here. My son is at home. My son could be watching. The way I try to become a real father to my son is 18 years old. I'm telling you. I want to be really vulnerable. I want to tell all you people who I am, what sort of a father I am. Yes. I don't feel bad to tell that. Right. Let me get into that document. Let me get into the document. All right. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Here you are. I actually did a questionnaire with my son. I wanted to know, when I was doing this program, I wanted to know what sort of a father I am. Yes. I can't ask this thing from my wife because she's not going to give me the best picture. I thought I have to be really, really down to earth. I have to be a servant. I have to be humble enough to go on bended knees to my son and ask from him how I am as a father. So I did this questionnaire. I wrote it and I asked my son, give me your honest feedback. I said, be honest when filling this form, should be from the heart, I wrote. He took time. I asked the first question. I'm going to only share with you, I'm going to quickly breeze through this, and I'm going to share with you the areas where I really had to change myself. First question. What are the areas that you think your father does incorrectly when in a father-son relationship? You know what he said? He said, making decisions. That means I've been making all sorts of wrong decisions or decisions which are not right with myself. Look at this. That was the day that I opened my eyes. Let's go down a little bit more. What are the elements that you think your father should do to improve the relationship that you have with him? He said, be more open. Looks like I'm a close person. Speak with others. Speak with others. Third one, he said, think about others' thoughts and feelings. My goodness. I was really sad. I was really sad. I thought for myself, I have to change. I have to change as a father. Further going down, I asked from him, how do you feel when your expectations are not met? He wrote and told me, lost. Look at my son's words, very short words, but they are like arrows. Arrows. He said, lost, heartbroken, betrayed. The son is telling his father, this is how I feel when his expectations are not met. Lost, heartbroken, betrayed. I had to ask myself, am I showing God's face to my son or some other face? I had to ask. Look at the last few ones. Question number 9. What are the areas that you think that your father has done wrong against? He said, making his own decisions. I've failed to ask from my son. Yes, I've failed to dialogue enough with him. He has written it down and he has told me. All right. I've also circled some things, but the plus ones, I really don't want to discuss those things because of since we need to sort of discuss a few more points. I'll stop share this thing again and I'll come back to the screen once again. All right, we're back on screen again. So, with those, as we come towards the end, now it's black screen that you have, and you're looking at my dark face. I want to tell you, you've spent with me more than 1 hour. I've told you many things about what a real man and a real father should be having. We've discussed what's the current scenario, early part of the slides, and I also shared with you me as a father, whether I've been a real father or not. I want to remind those 4 things to you before we wind up. If you are a real father, try to have the right identity. Second thing, try to have that emotional security that your child needs desperately. Third one, give loads of information to your son, to your daughter. Fourth one, you need to have that right moral authority. That is, you should be wearing the servant garment on you. That's important. The day that you have all those 4 things, hopefully soon, your son is going to tell you these things to you. I want you to listen to this lovely clip as we come to the end of it. You are going to be a great father, and that day is not very far. And on that day, your son is going to sing this song to you.
This little song, thank you for shaping my life. Thank you for teaching me all you can. You are no ordinary man, no, no, no. You make me everything I am. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for showing me the way. And thank you for being there when I need you. Thank you for every single day.
All right. I finish off with you saying thank you and God bless you.